Parental discretion advised.
This civilian talk. If you listen to that bullshit, that ain't even smart. Have you spewing out fake news? Get you ripped apart. But this Mr. P.I. and this civilian talk. Hey.
Stands for questioning, excuse me. God love you. Questioning your mom. Look, hey, come on. Take you out behind the schoolyard, get you pregnant.
It's your boy, Mr. P.I. coming straight at you. Bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up American news, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. You feel me? Yes, you are listening to a Mr. P.I. original right now. Y'all know I make my own beats and all that, so you know I had to get freaky on y'all today. But I'm glad to be up in this joint. You feel me? We got a lot of news. COVIDity news. Oh man, so many COVIDity truths is coming out right now. I mean, like, I'm so satisfied in, like, the worst way and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's actually kind of sad that all this shit is going on and shit, but we have to endure it in order to make it safely to the end of whatever process this is and shit. So today we have the battle for your brain. Creepy World Economic Forum video shows the globalists how to plan to use AI to mind control you. Yes. World Health Organization officially admits vaccine passports were a scam. Oh, could you believe it? I mean, didn't we already tell you? I mean, didn't you motherfucking know? I mean, bro, didn't you hear it here first? It's currently 4:20 p.m. You know I'm gonna light up in a minute and shit. FBI warns Chinese hackers are preparing to launch massive attacks on U.S. infrastructure, have already infiltrated several critical companies and shit. Yes. Terrible shit. You already should know. Japanese news study suggests mRNA vaccines are behind the explosion in super cancers caused in Japan during the pandemic. Oh, yes. Yes. So sad. We got some Paul Joseph Watson coming up. He gonna take us home and shit, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is happening and shit? He can't say it on YouTube, but I can say it on here. You already should know. That's how the fuck it go around this motherfucker. Massive illegal alien processing center has been built in El Paso, Texas. Why? You have to ask yourself why and what. You know what I'm saying? Louisiana bill would nullify the UN, the WHO, and the World Economic Forum and shit. Come back on the other side, and we're going to talk about plenty of this shit, you know what I'm saying? So you already should know how it's about to go. We got a little bit of Trump news and Joe Biden and all that shit. You already should know. We got some nicks and knacks, so hang in there and be back on the other side with even more of this shit. And you already should know who it is. It's your boy!
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Yo, it's your boy, Mr. P. I want to tell y'all, man, we got the podcast player over there at civiliantalkpodcast.com now, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is hit the check out the podcast button. There's a nice big old player over there, you know what I'm saying? You can check out as many episodes as you want, and we going to be over there waiting for y'all, you know what I'm saying? We done streamlined it, so you don't have to go to your favorite podcast outlet no more. You don't have to sign in to Spotify or iHeartRadio or iTunes. You can just go over to civiliantalkpodcast.com, and if it's not another link, you can just press the episode you want and press play, and you already know. It's your boy. Bake. You already know we bake. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, folks? So happy to be with y'all. Y'all already know I love this fucking show. You know what I'm saying? You do too. That's why you come through and holler at your boy every chance you get. You know what I'm saying? There's so much going on in the world. Y'all gonna get a full show today. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no shortcuts today. We talking We're going to have these intellectual conversations, whether you like the did or not the did. So let me just take a second to, I'm a toast first today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to wait 30 minutes to toast with y'all. I'm putting my motherfucking lighter up and shit. Oh, man. World War III, cyber attacks, mass shootings, sleeper cells, literally in your backyard, you know what I'm saying? So many things going on. So many. You know what I'm saying? So little time to discuss them, but it's happening out there, folks. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what are we going to do about these situations? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do to, it's supposed to be some push and pull around this motherfucker. We ain't got no pull. We getting pushed around, but we ain't got no fucking pull and shit. Like, what is that about, folks? I thought y'all was like stand-up people and shit. I thought y'all wasn't taking no shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought y'all wasn't taking no for an answer and shit. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? Y'all did all this bitching, moaning, and complaining when Trump was in fucking office and shit, and now we can't even find you motherfuckers. Y'all niggas was socially active, social media warriors and shit when Trump was the bad guy and shit, but now that y'all done voted for some straight bullshit, ain't none of y'all taking accountability and shit, just like a woman. And I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about you women-ass men too and shit that don't stand up for shit. You know what I mean? Y'all gotta think about all the shit I done been through, and I'm still willing to put myself on the line for you motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I put up a status the other day. It said, you know what I mean, if me and my girl in the bed sleep and somebody break in, she go hides, I go check it out. That's why we're not equal. And all you motherfuckers is running around talking about equality and all that shit. And the minute a nigga jump behind y'all as a bulletproof vest, we sassy and shit. No, you wanted to be treated equal. The minute you punch us in the face and we punch you back and knock your whole fucking block off and shit, we abusers and shit. You know what I mean? And I haven't done that ever. You know what I'm saying? I haven't ever done that. So I'm not talking about myself. I'm just talking about in general and shit. And that's my word on that shit. I haven't ever beat a chick up just on some shit. Now, I have bashed one in the head with a crate when I was a kid and shit. She hit me in the head with a Pringles can, and I ain't know how to fight, you know what I'm saying? So I seen a crate, and she tried to like back up down the street, kept saying, you ain't gonna hit me with that joint. It was like the more she said, you ain't gonna hit me with it, the more I wanted to throw it and shit. She was like 3 years older than me and shit. I was probably like 7 maybe. She was probably like 10 something. I'm like, look, the more she said you ain't gonna hit me with it, the more I kept strengthening up the crack this bitch. And I threw that bitch, hit her right in the glasses. You already fucking know. Then there's one time in middle school, me and this girl was play fighting and shit in Sarah Middle School and shit. We was play fighting in the gym, and I kind of threw like this open hand jab, and like the tip of my finger hit her nose and shit. And her shit started leaking. I had to take off my shirt. I had a white tee. This was back when we was wearing baggy jeans and white tees, you feel me? Back in the good old days where you could go outside and not worry about getting snatched into a fucking van. Like, niggas ain't want black kids back then and shit. Now that they learn how to extract melanin, they taking anybody and shit. Like, nigga, what the fuck? You mean? Like, I ain't trying to get fucking extracted, nigga. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, bro, it's just, like, times have changed so drastically and shit. You know what I mean? Happy 420, everybody. It's actually 421. I was just in motherfucking Jersey and shit. Had to get back and motherfucking do the motherfucking show. You already know it's mid-afternoon and shit. Perfect time to do the show. You already know. And I definitely appreciate y'all listening space. I appreciate y'all coming through, being willing to kick it with me and laugh and learn something and shit. So you already know how this first half hour go. We're going to have a nice little, I'm going to tell y'all how my shit going, you know, and y'all can relate or not relate while we cheers together and shit, you know, if you're new here. And, you know, I'm going to slide a little bit of news in and correlate it all at the same time and shit. That's how we do stuff around here. You know what I mean? I just really want people to wake up because time is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. They're about to roll out this market to beat system and all this cool shit. It's about to be all this weirdo shit going on. And what's going to happen is people are going to get basically going to be subject to, the stipulations of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you mean, like, you won't be able to buy, sell, trade without the mark. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said head for the hills when that happens and shit. You know what I'm saying? Go live off the land and, try to be self-sufficient and all that shit. You know what I mean? Try to figure out something. You know what I mean? But it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are out here walking blindfolded and they're being led blindfolded. It's almost like Bird Box and shit. Bird Box was a perfect example of why you don't just listen to anything and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the motherfuckers walking around blindfolded and shit, and it's some people that wasn't walking around blindfolded that was perfectly fine, but they had this impression that if you can see, then whatever the boogeyman was, it was gonna get you. But if you couldn't see, it wasn't gonna get you. And that's the thing. They want you to close your eyes. They want you not to look up. You know what I mean? They coming out with all types of propaganda movies and shit to basically desensitize you to, the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you are going to be content with not knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be unfortunate for you and your family and shit. Very unfortunate for you and your family, because if you don't know what's going on, you're not going to prepare yourself for what's to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird, man. I typically try not to push my views on people. I try to just, give them the objective, I try to like, bird's eye view it for everybody. I try to treat everybody the same, give everybody the same bird's eye view opportunity and shit, and let them wake themselves up. It's almost like how I say, you don't have to convert anybody to God. Just bring God if you genuinely bringing God into the room, you don't have to convert anybody to who he is. You understand? You can just be who you are and just introduce that person to God, and that'll work itself out. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is, everybody when you introduce God, you want to start pushing what you was taught and believed and shit. No. Just give them a summary of what God is to you, and then, point them in the right direction to find literature or study guides or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for them to have the same opportunity that you had to read and indulge in the word and accept it or neglect it. You know what I'm saying? When you motherfuckers, because, God told me you going to hell because... Now, don't get it fucked up. Some shit in the Bible say you going to hell, and that don't mean I'm judging you and shit. You know what I'm saying? When he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, you think those people went to heaven? No. They went to hell. You knew for a fact. He sent the angel to destroy the whole fucking city. So... everybody in the one motherfucker that was worth saving, he sent out the city. You know what I'm saying? So, therefore, the one motherfucker that had potential to go to heaven, he told him and his family to get the fuck out the city. What his wife do and shit? What his wife do, guys? What women always do. Don't fucking listen. Don't fucking listen. Don't fucking listen. Don't fucking listen. The angel said, don't look back. What the bitch do? Look back. Turned into a pillar of salt and shit. I bet her husband was like, facts. Like, fuck that. This bitch finally gone. I finally got rid of that hard head bitch. You know what I'm saying? You mean, like, God know already who's worth saving and who's not worth saving. He told the man, just look, you can just leave. He like, well, what about my family? Take your family with you then, nigga. Like, you mean? But the woman was of this earth. The woman was of this world. You know what I'm saying? And she almost dragged him into the pits of hell and shit. You know what I'm saying? She was already being mind controlled. You understand what I'm saying, folks? Like, y'all niggas is being mind controlled. Y'all got people out here believing in dumb shit and doing dumb shit and self-sabotaging themselves for stupid ass purposes and all types of dumb ass shit. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you put yourself in that situation? Why would you take advice from somebody that's in a worse position than yourself and then put yourself on a plane where y'all would be equal? You're elevated. They give you some advice to bring you down to their level and shit. Now y'all on an equal playing field, and instead of you looking down trying to pull them up, now y'all both looking at each other seeing who y'all can push the fuck down and shit. That shit retarded. Like, real rap. That shit is the fuck stupidest shit. Like, y'all gotta fucking do self-evaluation. Y'all gotta look within yourself. You gotta research what the fuck is going on. You gotta see what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker got marriage advice for you and shit, and they not in a successful marriage and shit, 9 times out of 10, you might not want to take marriage advice from them. You know, just because, you know, they're not in a successful marriage. You feel me? Like, so if a motherfucker can't drive and how they gonna teach you how to be a good driver? If a motherfucker can't play basketball, how the fuck they gonna teach you how to play good basketball? If a motherfucker not a good speaker, then how the fuck they gonna give you pointers on how to become a better speaker? If a motherfucker can't read, then how the fuck they gonna teach you how to read? Like, nigga. If a motherfucker don't got a successful relationship, how is their advice going to give you a successful relationship? Y'all all being mind controlled by the same entity. The same spirit got all y'all on goofy shit, and y'all all fucking doing this spiral, this unlimited spiral, tornado spiral into nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I put up a meme like last week and shit. It had 2 roads and shit. One road, you got to bring all your belongings, and they actually gave you more shit as you went down the road. You can have as many belongings as you want. The other road, you had to walk through this narrow wall and leave all your belongings behind and shit. You know what I'm saying? You had to leave all that shit behind. And then, you know what I'm saying, you didn't gather more belongings as you went down this winding road that had just nothing but trees and road, and you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the one tunnel that had the end of the one road that let you bring all your belongings and gave you more belongings as you showed up and shit, dropped you off in the pit of hell. The one where you had to leave all your belongings behind took you to the kingdom of heaven. Y'all so caught up in this material shit that y'all literally are sacrificing yourselves. Think about this, right? Y'all hear how cheap I am. Y'all hear how broke I am. Y'all hear how, and miraculously, God still finds a way for me to have an opportunity to come talk to y'all and bring y'all messages just like these, have church with y'all. You understand what I'm saying? This shit not just about motherfucking news and, you know, the shit that's going on. This is about all of us fixing ourselves so we can create a better society for everybody else around us. And not on no inclusivity shit, not on no tolerance, diversity, acceptance, and inclusion shit. Not on that shit at all. Because if I see something I don't fucking agree with, I'm going to speak on it. I'm not going to bite my tongue because you feel some type of way. Fuck you. You don't tell me what the fuck to do. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have to fix ourselves. You can't point the finger at a motherfucker saying this is the person's problem and you got the same problem, but it's 10x worse. Hence, you can't take advice from a motherfucker that's not in a better position than you. You understand what I'm saying? Why would 2 broke niggas be taking advice from each other? They both broke. I'll take advice from somebody that's on their way to wealth, or a wealthy motherfucker, or a rich motherfucker, whatever word you want to use to symbolize having things. You know what I'm saying? And still not losing themselves or selling their soul and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all niggas is hilarious, man. Like, y'all are literally being mind controlled, bro. They don't even need the technology that they bring pulling out the mind control, y'all, because the propaganda is working completely and utterly. It's like easy as shit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't give a fuck because y'all drinking the Kool-Aid and y'all fucking going down with the ship and y'all don't even care. Y'all don't even have a self-preservation. Y'all motherfuckers is out here taking poisonous motherfucking death shots. Y'all niggas is out here fucking putting yourselves in compromising situations. Y'all allow motherfuckers to do you dirty and shit. Y'all niggas is just out here doing whatever the fuck ever and shit. Y'all don't have no morals, no ethics. And you already should know, if it don't apply, let it fly. And when I say y'all, I'm not talking to you, the audience. I'm talking about the world in general. So if you don't fit in that, don't take that shit personal. You understand what I'm saying? If you taking it personal, that means you fit somewhere in these categories that I'm listing as the problem and shit. You understand what I'm saying? You are part of the problem. So it's just like motherfucking the COVIDity. You know what I'm saying? We told y'all, Dr. Francis A. Boyle, the fucking one of the writers of the World Biological Treaty, my nigga, that literally defines what a biological weapon is, came out in fucking February of 2020 and told y'all niggas not to take a motherfucking poisonous death shot. And what the fuck y'all do? Since CNN didn't have them on, since ABC didn't have them on, since MSNBC didn't have them on, and since the Pentagon wanted him censored, and since DARPA wanted him censored, and since CIA wanted him censored, and the FBI, all the three-letter agencies wanted him censored. You understand what I'm saying? And they censored his ass. And y'all niggas jumped in line. But they also had videos. They had videos where you seen a motherfucker take a death shot and pass out in his car. No sooner than they pulled the needle out his arm, he was fucking convulsing. And y'all niggas still thought it was fantastic and utterly, just the most brilliantest. You know what I'm saying? To just go against what's being said by the real professionals, by the real motherfuckers that's in these positions. You know why they just putting anybody in any position? Because y'all have this perception that since they have that job, they know what they talking about. That's all y'all. Y'all be like, y'all go to the doctor don't know what the fuck is wrong with y'all. He just making an educated guess, a hypothesis. He has an educated guess of what might be wrong with you and shit, and he's trying to figure it out right now. You know? And y'all niggas take the hypothesis, roll over and die. That's what y'all do. We talking about over 20 million deaths just from the death jab. We talking about at least 1 billion adverse reactions to the death jab. That's the floor. None of you motherfuckers ask yourself why. Why didn't they want people to do autopsies on the bodies when the shit first popped off? Why was they just putting them in refrigerators and fucking rolling them out? Why? Because they was fucking putting them on fucking, I'm about to tell you why. Again and again and again and again. Because I done told you 415,000 times already. This is 415, you feel me? And I told you 415,000 times already. You understand what I'm saying? These niggas, this is my educated guess. This is my hypothesis. This is my theory. This ain't no conspiracy. This ain't no conspiracy theory. Don't put no C words in front of it. This is just what I believe. Okay? I believe when the shit first popped off, they wanted to fearmonger y'all into it, and it served many different purposes, you know what I'm saying? I believe also that they wanted to fearmonger y'all, and they was putting these people on ventilators and shit, and suiciding them, and taking their organs, and harvesting them, and putting their bodies in refrigerators. And they didn't want nobody to do the autopsies because they would have shown that they didn't die from any disease or bacteria or germ. They were killed with medicine and legally. And y'all forget that they was making what, $53,000 per head? They was making like fucking like $10,000 to $15,000 to get you on to say you had COVID. Test you, right? And say you had COVID, then admitting you and shit, and then they was making another fucking $35,000 to $40,000 on, well, $35,000 to $50,000 on getting you on a ventilator, my nigga. And that's before, you know what, to tell you the truth, I don't know if that's before or after they milked the shit out your insurance. Because doctors was getting kickbacks, they getting motherfucking big ass checks, bro. Bigger just to vaccinate you. Why you think your doctor was so hell bent on you taking a vaccine? Why you think all them niggas was telling you, take the vaccine, 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 take the vaccine. Remember, even Barack Hussein, Osama bin Laden got in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can recall.
And yet, despite the fact that we've now essentially clinically tested the vaccine on billions of people worldwide, around 1 in 5 Americans is still willing to put themselves at risk and put their families at risk rather than get vaccinated. Oh, and I mean, we're going to go into detail about this shit later on in the show, but I just feel the need without, having to circle back. You know what I'm saying? Although I am going to have that drop for y'all later. You know what I'm saying? But 3.5 minutes of some real shit that y'all actually fell for, bro. Y'all actually fell for it and shit. Like, Peter Hotez, all y'all doctors was doing the same shit, grifting y'all for millions of dollars in their own pocket. And they didn't take the shit. They wasn't taking the shit. But you was.
It's against the law for niggas.
Yeah, well, you already know it's against the law for niggas to ride on horses around this joint, but niggas need boosters.
One of the things that we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccines.
And then something changed.
Any vaccine released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
J&J's vaccine has a risk of life-threatening blood clots.
When you hear the beep, that's the sound of safety.
So don't overthink it. They're both really good. They're all really good vaccines. Get vaccinated now.
You gotta call now.
If you wait, it's going to be really too late to protect your child.
If this was your child, what happens next could make it the worst day of your life.
So even though COVID poses zero threat to healthy children,
vaccinate your children.
Do the right thing. Be safe and not sorry.
I'm strongly recommending for adolescents to get their 2 doses of vaccine and fully immunized after those 2 doses.
Advanced technology that can help save lives.
This is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A long-lasting vaccine.
A few moments later,
we're seeing that 2 doses is not holding up well for emergency room visits. It's not holding up well for hospitalizations.
Here we go again.
Everyone's going to need a booster. You need that 3rd immunization.
Triple the amount.
Get that 3rd immunization. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. The 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. This is a 3-dose vaccine.
But I'm not done yet.
Always said
3rd immunization. The problem is it's not holding up. So we may have to look at sort of innovative solutions.
Oh God, not this again.
A 4th immunization, just to keep them going, to keep the country going. We have to consider some out of the box things. A 4th immunization. A 4th immunization. Get that 2nd boost. A 2nd boost to keep the country going. I've made that recommendation. A 4th immunization.
But I'm still not done.
1 semester later.
Unfortunately, the numbers are starting to trend up again. So the hospitalizations are up. And so the most important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster.
Willie and Lise were saying they got their booster, and I was like, oh, I need to get mine. And then I found out they're talking about the 3rd shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the 4th booster, or does it matter?
Don't worry so much about the number of...
There's no wrong way to use it.
You have to get it. This new bivalent booster...
You can double or triple stack them.
The new bivalent one is doing a much better job. You have to get a booster.
Yeah.
You need to get this new bivalent booster. That bivalent booster for COVID.
But does everyone ages 12 and older need a booster?
The answer is yes. Yes. And by the way, if you're over 50 and have gotten 2 boosters and more than 2 to 4 months out, you're going to to need a third booster as well, a fifth immunization.
5!
I don't think we're going to need an annual booster like flu.
Eventually.
Dr. Hotez supports yearly boosters, just like flu.
But I'm still not done.
It looks as though the boosters are not holding up quite as well as we'd like. And I think our thinking is going to change, and that what's going to happen is every, few months, we may need another booster.
Y'all niggas is about to literally, like, what's the deal? Y'all cool with just rolling over and dying? Is that where we at? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just really need to figure it out, man, because y'all smarter than this, but y'all not acting like y'all got sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird, but it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. It's about to be a lot of niggas dying from dumb shit. And y'all gonna think it's natural cause shit when it's actually accelerated by a bioweapon. They actually got fucking videos on how the shit distribute payloads, and you can activate it with certain signals to dump the payload on you, or open up the motherfucking channel for the protein to release whatever is holding, and it's all type nanobots and all types, and don't nobody give a fuck. Nobody even care, man. Y'all sit here and ask me why I smoke so much. I gotta smoke to keep from going crazy, 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 just thinking about this crazy. I'm going crazy, 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 thinking about you. Crazy, 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 cause I can't hold you. Yeah, man. So, I guess I'm at the point where it's like, fuck it. Might as well get the show started, right? You know what I mean? Let's get on the good foot. So little time. But we got, an hour and a half to get our point across. So let's move into part 2 of segment 1 right about now. So, the battle for your brain. Creepy World Economic Forum video shows how globalists plan to use AI mind control. And we actually watched this video previously, but we got some new listeners, and they don't, for some reason, y'all don't want to go back episodes and listen. It's all that information. Like, if you thought the first episode you listened to was great, and you like, holy shit, that's a lot of shit he just ran through. Go backwards, bro. There's very few of y'all that's been here from the gate. You know what I'm saying? Very few. And it's cool. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. But it's very few of y'all that's been here from the gate. You need to understand that since you haven't been here from the gate, if you travel back in time, you will learn about the future. Because we are ahead of our time, courtesy of the information we collect from different sources. You understand what I'm saying? So, old to me, but new to you. An eerie video from the World Economic Forum annual Davos Summit shows how the globalists plan to read and manipulate brain waves and make it easier to control workforce populations. A presentation by the Atlantic CEO Nicholas Thompson, along with Duke University Science and Society Director Nita Ferrani, during a 2023 Davos Summit, featuring a creepy video outlining how emerging technologies may make it possible to monitor brain waves and therefore control behaviors and shit. Let's check it out. Always interesting shit.
So, first off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song. sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance.
Yeah, given that policy.
You can't help fantasizing just a little.
Yeah, maybe.
But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present.
Oh, yeah.
You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus.
And CBDC.
You head home jamming to the music, with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a
This is a Minority Report.
Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
This is Minority Report.
Is it a future you're ready for?
No.
You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived.
Oh, shit.
Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible.
They're going to use your earbuds to monitor your brain waves and shit. How about that shit? Yeah, man, you see how they tell you some shit is made for good and use it for evil? Do you ever realize that shit? How they be like, yeah, this is going to help everybody. You know, what the fuck? Yeah. Let's talk about some more evil shit. You already know. Nanobots that release toxins and harvest energy from your body. And this is what I was talking about. Yeah.
The 248-page patent for the Moderna technology that was administered to people in the COVID shots was filed in 2020. The patent lists several embodiments or variations of this technology. And while we don't know who got what embodiment, we know that several different batch numbers were deployed, and some were far more deadlier than others. According to the Moderna patent, this technology contains self-assembled nanoparticles, and in certain variations, these nanoparticles can be used for the controlled release of compounds once they are in the human body. These lipid nanoparticles are encapsulated into a polymer hydrogel, a controlled release coating that includes polyvinyls. This has been verified by Anna Mielchia and Clifford Carnicom's research. In a 2013 TED-Med talk, Dr. Ido Bachelet says that these nanorobots have already been successfully developed in Israel and that they can be injected into the human body with a basic syringe. He shows an image of what they look like, and they appear to be the same structures that the fifth column found in their research and claimed was powered by 5G, which was confirmed by Dr. Bachelet.
My team developed nanorobots that carry antennae. These antennae are made from metal nanoparticles. Now, the antenna enabled the nanobots to respond to externally applied electromagnetic fields.
Externally.
So these versions of nanobots can actually be activated with the press of a button on a joystick.
Wow.
In the following video, it is being discussed by developers in 2015.
The nanorobot we designed and fabricated is a machine that can be programmed to autonomously recognize target cells and deliver payloads to those cells.
The basic idea is to make a cage or a basket that protects a fragile or toxic or precious payload and only releases it when it's at the right moment.
The nanorobot that we designed actually looks like an open-ended barrel or a clamshell that has two halves. So the two halves of this open-ended barrel or clamshell are linked together by flexible DNA hinges, and the entire structure is held shut by latches or locks that are actually DNA double helices. The way it works is that in the absence of the key, which is a molecular protein, the duplexes are held sufficiently strong to maintain the entire structure closed. But when the key is present, that piece of DNA that we designed to recognize that key switches to bind to the key, and the duplex zips open.
The work of Todd Callender's team at vaxchoice.com have concluded that these shots contain a variety of synthetic pathogens that can be released with external 5G frequencies. The Moderna patent describes these nanoparticle mimics, which mimic the delivery of a variety of pathogens, and lists over 100 of them within the patent. And according to the work at VaxChoice, these synthetic pathogens each have an IP address. They are cataloged by the Department of Energy. And they use cesium-137, which we have been contaminated with from the environment, as a building block for their construction within our bodies using external frequency. And their research shows that the Microsoft patent filed in 2020, 060606, cryptocurrency system using body activity data, is now in effect, and that this technology is turning the human body into an antenna, which can output energy.
Wow.
Meaning that humans are being turned into batteries to fuel the digital AI prison that is being built around us. And if you choose not to comply, the technology includes a built-in kill
switch, nigga.
Thanks to many independent researchers and scientists, we are figuring out their agenda, but they continue to walk freely among us, unrestrained by any justice whatsoever. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
Thanks, Greg. We always appreciate you. Always a great job. See, and this is the shit I be trying to tell you about, but y'all motherfuckers listen to. Y'all be like, nah, babe, you on some bullshit. You on some bullshit. You on some bullshit. And I be like, bro, I'm just trying to help you the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? And y'all niggas, me on some bullshit. I take it though, you know. World Health Organization admits vaccine passports were a scam and shit. What? Yes, they were a scam. Oh, God. They was literally DNA harvesting you motherfuckers, and all y'all niggas jumped smooth in line because y'all wanted to keep going to school and have your job, and so they can make race specific bioweapons and shit. Y'all niggas just help them and shit. A Finnish vaccine expert at the World Health Organization has admitted that Wuhan coronavirus, yes, the Wuhan coronavirus and shit, you know what I mean? It's terrible. Like, why would y'all do this to yourself? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, that's a real question. You know what I mean? Like, why? Coronavirus vaccine passports may have been a scam due to ineffectiveness of the injections. Dr. Hanner, I'm about to slaughter it. Chairwoman of the WHO Strategic Advisory Group, expert on immunization, SAGE, Strategically Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, made the realization during the April 11th testimony in the Helsinki courtroom. She also served as the chief physician in the Finnish Institute for Health and Welfare, THL, department of Health and Security. The THL operates under Finland's Ministry of Social Affairs and Health. According to the expert, she advised the Finnish government that the COVID-19 vaccine passports were unnecessary. You think? It was basically the beta test for the mark of the beast and shit. You won't be able to buy, sell, or trade, and they literally clock in where you going, when you going, how you going, who you going, and they watching all that shit. And if you on a CBDC, they can shut you down where you at. You know what I'm saying? Even if you try to run, as soon as you try to use the wallet, you shut down and shit. I mean, y'all niggas is just like, all right, cool. But according to Nowinski, I'm just gonna call her Nowinski, but you spell her name Nohynek. Nohynek, man, argued that the injections only gave a false sense of security and did not stop transmission, adding that the THL knew that the latter by the summer of 2021, which we also told you in 2020, don't take it. However, the government simply turned a deaf ear to her advice and ignored her recommendations to terminate the vaccine passport, something she found shocking. Testimony came as a result of Finnish citizen Mika Volomskala lawsuit. The plaintiff filed the case after he was denied breakfast in a cafe in the Finnish capital in December 2021. Volkala was refused entry to the establishment for not having a vaccine passport, even though he was healthy. You know what I'm saying? In a website discussion, his case, these motherfuckers with these crazy ass names, explained that he filed the lawsuit to defend the basic rights. He continued, the Constitution of Finland guarantees that any citizen should not be discriminated against based on health conditions, among other things. EU, WHO, conceptualized vaccine passports during the time period when the COVID-19 injections were known to be ineffective at stopping the infection. The WHO said it was working to create an international trust framework for safe travel. Meanwhile, the European Union member states began rolling out their own version of the COVID-19 vaccine passport. A digital certificate to kickstart foreign travel would be given to citizens across the EU without discrimination, officials said at the time. The aim was to enable anyone either injected with the COVID-19 vaccine, tested negative for SARS-CoV-2, or recently recovered from an infection to travel within the continent. This became true in the form of the EU digital COVID-19 certificate regulations that was passed in July 2021. More than 2.3 billion certificates were later issued, with both tourists and citizens receiving proof of vaccination. See, I said earlier the floor was 1 billion people. They're saying just in this one country alone that they certified 2.3 billion certificates. Now, let's just say people got 2 certificates apiece and shit. That's still 1.15 billion motherfuckers. That's 1,150,000,000 motherfuckers that's been injected that they know about. You know, that's if we cut that number in half and not just calling each certificate an individual person. You see how I'm saying the floor is 1 billion motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? With both tourists and receiving in France, visitors were banned if they did not have valid vaccine passports, while citizens had to have it to buy food or use public transport. Later, the EU version helped establish the WHO's Global Digital Health Certificate Network in July 2023 by using European best practices. We contribute the digital health standards and interoperability globally to benefit those most in need, the EU official stated. That's some bullshit, nigga. We're talking about control and censorship in live time. Aside from Nowinski's British cardiologist Dr. Asim Malhotra also testified in the hearing, and Valenska, I'm fucking his name up, complaint, the lawsuit at the cafe. There was never any evidence justifying any COVID vaccine mandates, passport, or any other coercive measures adopted by the various governments worldwide, he told the court. Nah, man, never a need for this shit. From my medical experience, the review of sound data and scientific basis can confirm that in December 2021, the medical and scientific communities should have known that the COVID-19 vaccines were proving to be far from safe and effective, and far from preventing transmission of COVID-19 or its severe form, but most of them did not know. Why didn't they know? You know what I'm saying? Was it because somebody didn't tell them? Was that why? Was it because nobody informed them? You know what I'm saying? We tried to fucking tell y'all, folks, man, and y'all didn't want to fucking listen to us because of our lack of acronym letters and shit. You know what I mean? Y'all saw CTP. That shit was supposed to say CNN. Like, whoa. This the wrong motherfucking acronym, nigga. What the fuck? He almost got us. He almost motherfucking got us, guys. New Japanese study suggests mRNA vaccines behind explosion in cancer caused in Japan during the pandemic. A new scientific study ties statistically significant increase in particular kinds of cancers in the country in the period of 2020 to 2022 to the administration of the mRNA vaccines. These cancers include ovarian cancers, leukemia, prostate cancer, pancreas cancer, breast cancer. Importantly, the study determines that neither the COVID-19 itself nor reduced cancer care as a result of lockdowns is likely to be responsible. So they saying that because we was locked down, that wasn't an increase in cancer, and you catching COVID-19, you catching a cold was not an increase, was not the cause of increase in cancer. So don't fall for that bullshit, is what they telling you in a nutshell and shit. Study abstract explains the motive for the study, which begins with the observation that the significant increase in excessive cancer deaths were observed after the first year of the pandemic. No significant excess mortality was observed during the first year of the pandemic, 2020. However, some excess cancers mortalities were observed in 2021 after the mass vaccination with the first and second vaccine doses, and significant excess mortalities were observed for all cancers in some specific types of cancer, including ovarian cancer, leukemia, prostate cancer, lip, oral, pineal gland cancer, pancreatic cancer, breast cancer after mass vaccination with the third dose in 2022, the abstract explained. So they saying that they knew for sure in 2021, but they knew for sure after that fucking third dose rolled out in 2022 that this was the cause of all the bullshit. Why? Because the chart would have showed you everybody that took that shit around August, September, October, whenever that shit came out in 2020 and shit, right? And then y'all niggas fucking y'all took that shit, and it might have been like toward the very end, like October, November, December, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? I can't recall fully and shit. You know, I absorb a lot of information and my brain won't allow me to go grab that little piece right now and shit. So y'all know what it is and shit. But y'all grabbed that shit last quarter of 2020 and shit, and they saw the increase in shit. And then y'all stopped taking it for a while and shit, and they seen the decrease in the increase. And then the third dose rolled out in 2022, and then they seen a new increase in motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, the increase in motherfucking, basically, mortality rates, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? The increase in cancers, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you can sit here with that bullshit. And y'all can sit here and act like y'all don't hear me. Y'all can sit here and act like you don't know what the fuck is going on. But y'all know what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? Stop playing, man. Y'all fucking playing. And that shit be blowing me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, for real, though. Yeah, I mean, y'all too smart. Some of y'all got, like, 2 million degrees, and you telling me y'all just the slowest motherfucker on the motherfucking planet when it comes to reading and being informed and researching the shit that actually fucking matter. Y'all watching y'all loved ones die around y'all, and y'all got the same face. Like, yeah, it is what it is. That's life. No, it's not. They're being poisoned. They're being killed. Okay, they came out with a sudden adult death syndrome after they started giving y'all this shit. That shit was never heard of, bro. Sudden adult death syndrome. What? What? Where? How? Why? When? Who? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. AMR's average adjusted mortality rates for 4 cancers with the most death: lung, colorectal, stomach, and liver, showed a decreased trend into the first year of the pandemic in 2020, but the rate of decrease slowed in 2021 and 2022. Dr. Peter McCullough sounds the alarm on COVID vaccine-induced turbo cancers, and we're going to check that out.
The multi-hit hypothesis of oncogenesis after COVID-19 vaccination. What does that mean? It means the COVID-19 vaccines, largely messenger RNA vaccines, the messenger RNA itself can impair DNA repair. So it can actually begin to tip the scale towards cancer promotion in cells. The spike protein, the S2 segment, which one actually gets from the vaccine and not from the infection, the S2 segment in a paper by Singh and Singh from University of Pittsburgh appears to inhibit the P53 and BRCA tumor suppressor systems. Our natural tumor surveillance systems are impaired. And if one has a loss of function mutation in either one of these, a woman would recognize this as, quote, being BRCA positive. That would be a loss of function mutation in this surveillance system. That could predispose somebody to a cancer, particularly breast and female reproductive cancers. And then lastly, a recent finding that the messenger RNA vaccines, both Pfizer and Moderna, have DNA process-related impurities. And at least 4 labs have described this. 2 papers, one by Spiegler and the other by McKernan, have identified elevated levels of DNA fragments and size of the fragments that are considered process-related impurities. They come from circular pieces of DNA used that have the code for the messenger RNA. They're in the form of a plasmid in E. coli. And the fragments that are detected are the SV40 enhancer, promoter, and origin of insertion, as well as an antibiotic resistance fragments that are used in the manufacturing process. The reason why SV40 is important, it stands for simian virus 40. This is a known proto-oncogene activator.
Yeah.
So in summary, the COVID vaccines have at least 3 mechanisms by which they could start a cancer or they could promote an existing cancer, and it may occur more rapidly because tumor defense systems are taken down. That's what we call turbo cancer.
Yeah, man, and people are getting the turbo cancers due to the fact that they're taking the turbo cancer causing agent, folks. I mean, do y'all not know what a turbo cancer causing agent is? Or, I mean, what y'all need me to do? What y'all need me to do? I can fully explain it or partially explain, like what? You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to wake y'all up. That's my job. My job here is to just wake y'all up. I mean, even Dr. Phil is coming out now like, oh my God, this is just fucking crazy as hell. I can't believe what the fuck they're planning. They're planning new lockdowns, and I can't believe that you guys aren't aware of it. Oh. And like the nigga eyes, like it looked like he know he done fucked up. See, when you work for the machine, when you promote with the machine once, when you give the machine what it desires, you understand? You are going to aid and embed the fall of humanity, you know? And, I mean, the folks, do you not know? Like, seriously, do you really not know what's going on? Because I know you know what's going on. You're just trying to stick your head in the sand and get me to just keep cussing and shit. I know what this is about. Y'all playing Joe Biden and shit. Y'all.
Q stands for question.
This is what y'all doing. I get it.
Excuse me. God love you.
God love you.
Right. Questioning your mom. Look, hey.
Oh, okay.
Take you out behind the schoolyard and get you pregnant.
Oh, you're going to get me pregnant, huh? Oh, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. Well, what's your name?
What's your name? My name? Oh, let me tell you my name. I'm confused because, like we're supposed to believe in the ministry, right? So is the church and state supposed to be separate? I'm confused because I never went to school, right? Is a confused person get a resolution?
I don't think so.
I don't understand. You see, when you go like that...
You go like what?
Right? You have a cross, two sticks, right? And that's how I felt when I was in Waterloo.
Okay.
Because when I walked in Waterloo and smiled at people, they treated me like a vampire. They used the cross, and they went like this by not smiling at me. In Toronto, hey, hi guys, you know me, Steve Spiros, easygoing.
Okay, yeah, well, kind of.
Those who know me, I'm a nobody. You understand? And you can't kill a person with no body. Okay. So why am I afraid? Yeah, I'm not afraid. I'm afraid of the boogeyman. Who's the boogeyman? You figure it out.
Okay.
I'm getting out of here. I'm going back to Waterloo where the vampires hang out. And I'm going to wear my sunglasses at night. You know why? Because women show their tits, have short skirts, and then they feel violated when I look at them.
Well, that's absolutely true, and we're going to come back on the other side, and I got more for you, COVID related, so don't go nowhere. It's really going to, like, creep you the fuck out if you ain't real, but it's your boy. Hey, Joe, was it you or Trump that said everybody should be vaxxed and boosted?
Tonight, we come here to answer a very important question in everybody's mind. Why in the hell are we still doing this? I know there are questions about whether we should gather here tonight because of COVID. Well, they're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. This is the first time the president attended this dinner in 6 years. It's understandable. We had a horrible plague, followed by 2 years of COVID. Just imagine if my predecessor came to this dinner this year. Now that would really have been a real coup if that occurred. I'm not really here to roast the GOP. A lot of people say the Republican Party is too extreme, too divisive, too controlled by one person. Ronald Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear this wall down. Today's Republicans say, tear down Mickey Mouse's house. The Republicans seem to support one fella, some guy named Brandon. He's having a really good year, and I'm kind of happy for him. They're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted. Fox News, I'm really sorry. Well, why? Your preferred candidate lost the last election. To make it up to you, I'm happy to give my chief of staff to you all so we can tell Sean Hannity what to say every day. Trevor's great. When I was elected, he did the show and he called me America's new dad. Let me tell you something, pal. I'm flattered anybody would call me a new anything. You're my guy. You've heard me say many times, and here in America, good journalism, good satire about our leaders is quintessentially an American thing. There's not a damn thing this country can do when we stand united and do it together. They're fully vaccinated and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. Vaxxed and boosted. How to do that? Just contact your favorite Fox News reporter. We're all here. Vaxxed and boosted.
listen, if you have not subscribed to a YouTube channel, do it right now. Do it today. And all you have to do is click the big red subscribe button. Whoa!
So we back, and I got more shit. Video, prepare to resist new lockdown, says Dr. Phil. What? Dr. Phil? Dr. Phil? Why the fuck would Dr. Phil say something? Dr. Phil? What? Dr. Phil questions government overreach during the 2020 COVID pandemic and shit. On his Thursday show, Alex Jones presents a video of Dr. Phil encouraging people to resist the new government-enforced lockdowns on his television show just recently. Dr. Phil won't be around much longer.
I stepped up in the beginning and said, this lockdown, this quarantine is going to create more problems with quality of life than that COVID is going to do in taking lives. People looked at me like I was insane. I got criticized, called a heretic, said, well, what is he talking about? I'll tell you what I was talking about. I was talking about exactly what happened and is happening. And what's more, when you shut down the schools, the day you shut them down, you better have a plan for reopening them. I didn't see a plan for them to be reopened. And we have an entire generation that is suffering from developmental gaps, educational gaps, mental and emotional challenges, and still, there's not a good plan to close those gaps. And my concern is when the next pandemic turns the corner, who's got the plan then? What was learned from this? Because you don't hear anybody talking about it, do you?
Nope.
You don't hear anybody talking about it, but I'm talking about it. Because I want to make noise about this. I want to force people to say we need to get ready for when this happens again. And I'm not some conspiracy theorist saying they're coming to get us and lock us up. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying we need to think about whether we're going to rely on science and how we're going to react when the government comes in and starts telling us what we can and can't do. I think we need less government. I think if they would step back, we tend to have a way to work these things out.
Man, and we got less government, and they tend to work themselves out. No, they don't. No, they don't. He ain't dead. No, they don't, nigga. They don't work themselves the fuck out. You gotta fight this shit out, bro. If you sitting here twiddling your fucking thumbs, you're going to get what you get.
To my ex-wife, and I said, I like you, Dr. Phil, but I'm not going to come on your show about things like that. I mean, to come on about the New World Order, I'll do it, but I'm not going to come on and talk about myself and sit there and just, be part of that. That's Jerry Springer crap. But I said, you ever want me on about the New World Order and the plan for global police state? Love to come on. He's gotten more and more hardcore, going on Joe Rogan, you name it. But he came out, we'll play the clip in a moment, and said the globalists are planning new lockdowns. They want to control society. It caused total destruction. It's a power grab. It's all a UN treaty. He got into that in the full report. And that this is martial law training. Now, you're like, well, Alex, you talked about that 4 years ago. We all know that. You warned of it 20 years ago and 15 years ago and 12 years ago. Those are viral clips. Made films about it. The point is, Dr. Phil is one of the most popular people in mainstream media. And the fact that he's getting so hardcore is yet another sign. Basically, any popular talk show host left now. From Joe Rogan to Tucker Carlson to Dr. Phil McGraw to anybody else, I can list hundreds, is now anti-globalist. Now, they did that because it's popular and it's true. The New World Order's here. But also, I think they're really doing it legitimately because now they're more awake. Things are out in the open. They can't deny it. And they know the public is now on their side. And so this is a big deal concerning the awakening, but more importantly, he's dead on. And when I saw this morning and then read the transcript of the full show he did, I've seen quite a few clips of it exposing how the vaccines didn't work and how they were a fraud and how the lockdowns were bad and how there's a new world order taking over and Chi-Com military bases everywhere. I mean, it sounds like my show. He's just taking the blinders off and reporting on it. And that's really a sign that liberty is not just rising, but taking over. And the whole neoliberal globalist order is collapsing. And so 30 years on air, we've gone from being a voice in the wilderness to now what I always said my goal was to basically make myself obsolete or redundant. And we haven't gotten there yet.
But he's a mothership, bro. You can't
expose what's over the horizon for other people with our guests, our callers, our research, our crew, our investigative journalists, our reporters here. We still have a lot of work to do, but the main mission that God literally laid on me. I mean, I've been telling this story for 25 years after it happened, where I had like a vision. It wasn't a visual, and it wasn't auditory, it wasn't audio, it was just an understanding. One night after I'd done a 2-hour TV show, eating dinner by myself, like 9:30 at night as the restaurant was closing down, by myself in the restaurant, and I come in, there's 3 or 4 tables, people are eating. By the time I get my food, nobody's in there. And God said, you're going to go out, you're going to be persecuted, you're going to warn people about the New World Order, you're going to take all the great research, the people that came before you, and you're going to put the warning out there, and then a lot of people won't listen. A lot will, but then when all the tyranny finally comes in and they go from testing phase to operational phase, everybody will see that you were right, and then your broadcast will completely explode. But more importantly, it will then trigger the next wave of people and the next wave of really smart men and women that will lead the world to a massive awakening that'll dwarf anything we've done here at InfoWars. And then that sets things up for the confrontation with the Antichrist, and for a short time, the beast overcoming it. But that's in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, we win, God wins. So this is literally something, that I've talked about for 25 years. I told that story 25 years ago on air and said, this is just basically a vision God put in my mind and my soul. Listeners of the show, longtime listeners, have been hearing it for decades. Many of you have been hearing it for, 10 years, 5 years, if you're new listeners. And it didn't seem like that 5 years ago, did it, or even 10, but you see it now. God is real.
Yep.
And God leads, guides, and directs us and gives us discernment. And that's what our conscience is for. It's not just doing the right thing, but also understanding the right thing and having knowledge and a sound mind.
And a strong
We're not
heart.
given to a spirit of fear, but a spirit of victory and overcoming.
Warriors.
As God's word tells us. So we're in a very
peculiar situation. You already know. Thanks a lot, Alex. Really appreciate that. We were the guinea pigs. Former NBA champ questions term effects of COVID jabs and shit. This is Matt Barnes blasting the COVID vaccine mandates and pointing out that they were pushed on the population without proper long-term safety testing. Let's do it.
Like all these side effects that they're talking about now, and you and I, we were almost forced to do it if we wanted to keep our jobs at the time.
I was forced to do it to keep my job, yeah.
So same thing with me, the Showtime and ESPN, you guys want to work, you got to get this, them, just like, damn.
So you did it?
I did it.
How'd you feel about that?
We just didn't know enough. It was so fast for this pandemic to hit, and all of a sudden within the first 4 to 6 months, they have something that's going to keep you safe from it. Like, to me, that's just, it sounds foolish, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But, like I said, sometimes you have to go with the bullshit. And I feel like that was part of the bullshit.
No, you don't. You don't got to go with it.
That's all I said, too.
You wanted to go with it for the money.
You
sold out to the bullshit.
The shot.
You sold out.
It was like,
say, hold on.
I just need more time.
It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't got to go with the bullshit. You could have said no, but you ain't want to fuck up your check. You sold out to the bullshit. And now that's the price you got to pay. You know what I mean? Some people lost their job and said, fuck it. Now they suing the government. Some motherfuckers took the shot and said, fuck it. And they ain't not suing the government. They dead. Some motherfuckers is collecting on the insurance. Some motherfuckers is not. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is, you know what I mean? Like, you could have said no. You wouldn't have had that money you getting, but you wouldn't be a guinea pig either and shit. So that's the sacrifice. Your money to not be a guinea pig. Which one would you rather sacrifice?
a quick Google search taught me that it's like 6 to 9 years before the FDA approves a vaccine. And we're all of a sudden, and then it's political, and then, okay, if Trump says do it, then it's evil. But if Biden says it and you don't, then you're evil. And like, then you go, wait, this just isn't consistent. All I want is truth and consistency. And all I wanted to do was wait. I mean, can you give me 6 months? Because I feel like there'll be more research. And it was, no, September 30th, 2021, or you're out. And so I did it to keep my job. I need my job and I love my job. And I think that's the big picture for me. It was one of the reasons why I stood up and ended up leaving. But
she said, I need my job and I love my job. But do you need your life to work that job? And do you love your life? Listen to her say that again. And then ask yourself, how much is your life worth?
I mean, can you give me 6 months? Because I feel like there'll be more research. And it was, no, September 30th, 2021, or you're out. And so I did it to keep my job. I need my job and I love my job.
I did it to keep my job. I need my job. I love my job. But how much do you want to keep your life? How much do you need your life? How much do you love your life? Huh? I tell you what, mine was priceless because I ain't sell out to her. I ain't take a test, none of that shit. Suck my dick. I went in the hospital. They tested my wife when she was having her third child. Well, my ex-wife. And, you know what I'm saying? It was like, he needs a test. The look on my face told that woman that even if she remotely walked near me and tried to swab me for anything, she was going to get oops upside the head. And you know what she did? She thought better of it. She was like, nah, he don't need your test. Could you just leave your mask on? I put the mask on in exchange for not taking the test.
Job. And I think that's the big picture for me. It was one of the reasons why I stood up and ended up leaving.
And when they walked out, I took it back off. Fuck y'all.
But the big picture is people just want facts.
That's
and
it.
then let me make my own decision based on my body.
I feel like we were the guinea pigs of this, whatever they put in us. We were the guinea pigs. Like normally we don't have to be the guinea pigs, but we were a guinea pig. And we don't know how, especially, I'm mid-40s now. I just turned 34 a couple weeks ago. It's just like,
he worried about that.
How's this going to affect me? Is it, these aches that I'm starting to have all of a sudden, or this, or the headaches I'm starting to get all of a sudden? Is it from, you know what I mean? So it's just like, what is it just me getting old, or is it, something I took 2 shots. I almost took the third.
So the main one and then one booster. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
In order to keep my job, again.
In order to keep my
It's
job.
literally all it was, yeah. But I think, so many people, maybe the silver lining is that people are doing more research and not just taking orders from anybody and learning, especially if it's not just you and you have a family and you have kids and we're making decisions for them too.
Yeah.
I do think that if there's a next time, which there probably will be, that I don't believe any of it was an accident. That's a topic for another show.
It was a beta test.
Or maybe a sip.
It was a beta test.
Cheers to that.
Beta test.
Thank you. We will continue that.
But to be honest with you, like now, I don't even want to know if there's bad stuff in it. Because it's in my body now.
It's already there.
What can I do now?
Well, although I always say, okay, it's been that long and I haven't had a booster in 2 years, so it's got to be out of me by now. Wouldn't you feel it by now? Like, that's the hope. And I think, again, I was never a conspiracy theorist. I just want truth. And when I see lies, immediately then you go, well, what else have you lied to me about?
I was never a conspiracy theorist. I love my job. I need my job. I love my job. How about your life, bitch? You need your life to work it. Okay. UK Parliament hear evidence of vaccine injuries.
We're going to move on now.
Y'all literally
to
about to get a whole hour
just scam that's going on and killing
shit.
God knows how many people. Here's a speech that was made in the UK Parliament about that very topic.
Why are the government so willing to pick up the tab on vaccine injury and however inadequate the scheme is, given the fatality and significant life-limiting impacts from the victims? But the concerns about this have been amplified significantly following the publication in The Spectator Australia of an account by genomic scientist Kevin McKern made about his accidental discovery, and I quote, While running an experiment in his Boston lab, McCairn used some vials of mRNA, Pfizer and Moderna COVID vaccines as controls. He was shocked to find that they were allegedly contaminated with tiny fragments of plasmid DNA. This concern has been considered further by Professor Angus Dalgleish, who notes that the contaminant, simian virus 40, is a sequence that is used to drive DNA into the nucleus, especially in gene therapies, and that this is something that regulatory agencies around the world have specifically said is not possible with the mRNA vaccines. These SV40 promoters are also well recognized as being oncogenic or are cancer-inducing genetic material. And other scientists have confirmed these findings, as Prof. Dalgleish further notes. To put it bluntly, this means that they are not vaccines at all, but genetically modified organisms that should have been subject to totally different regulatory conditions and certainly not be classed as vaccines. And worryingly, Professor Dalgleish also notes that oncologists have contacted him from across the world and that the consensus is that this is thought to be a precipitating relapse in melanoma, lymphoma, leukemias, and in kidney cancers. And he concludes with the following warning. To advise boosted vaccines, as is currently the case, that's the current position, is no more and no less than medical incompetence. To continue to do so with his cited evidence is medical negligence, which can carry a custodial sentence.
Will the Honourable Gentleman give way?
I will indeed.
I thank the Honourable Gentleman for his contribution, his quotes of Professor Angus Dalgleish, and I'd remind the House that Angus Dalgleish is the most cited oncologist in the UK. I had invited him here to witness this debate today, since he had some input to it. He can't attend because he's actually speaking at a conference on this very issue we're discussing here in Berlin.
I thank the Honourable Gentleman for that point of information, but also the acknowledgement of a very important scientist in this debate and someone who it's been a great honour of mine to have worked in the same institutions as he provides great leadership in on this specific technology, and his contribution to this problem is and his value to it is impeccable. Anyway, but he concludes that piece by saying no ifs, no buts any longer. All mRNA vaccines must be halted and banned now. So can the Minister answer the following question? Are Big Pharma being exempted from liability, and if so, why? The loss of trust in Big Pharma is substantial, and worryingly, because of this, the value of vaccination itself has been deeply damaged. Personally, I say this absolutely frankly, I will never accept another mRNA vaccine, and I am far from alone. So
a presentation in the UK Parliament describing the actual physical process by which the melanoma and other cancers are being exacerbated by mRNA vaccines, and at least part of that provided by the number one most cited oncologist in the country. Seems like the people in the know are very aware of what the vaccines are doing, and even Canada is not overtly but quietly admitting they have a problem with vaccine injuries, as their new budget over the next 2 years budgets $36 million for the Vaccine Injury Support Program. It was $0 the year before. Yep. So they seem to be recognizing that they're going to need tens of millions of dollars to deal with vaccine.
25 is going to be another 17. You mean why they putting up so much money for something that was so safe and effective? Louisiana bill would nullify the World Health Organization, the UN, and the World Economic Forum and shit. You gotta love that. Legislation introduced in Louisiana state legislature will ban the implementation of any policies or edict of the United Nations, World Health Organization, or World Economic Forum in the Pelican State. The Senate Bill number 133, SB 133, introduced to the state in March, is authored by Senator Thomas Presley, a Republican from Louisiana, and Valerie Hodges, Republican from Denham Springs, as well as Representative Kathy Emmonston, another Republican. If enacted, SB 133 will prohibit any policies or mandates from the UN, the World Health Organization, or the World Economic Forum from being enforced in Louisiana. The bill declares the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and the World Economic Forum shall have no jurisdiction or power within the state of Louisiana. No rule, regulation, fee, tax, policy, or mandate of any kind of the World Health Organization, United Nations, or the World Economic Forum shall be enforced or implemented by the state of Louisiana or any agency, department, or board or commission, political subdivision, government entity of the state, parish, or municipality, or any other political entity. So they basically, any other is the feds. You know what I mean? On March 26th, the state unanimously passed SB 133, sending it to the House of Representatives for consideration. As of this, writing this bill is pending the House and Governmental Affairs Committee. SB 133 currently lacks robust enforcement mechanism and most specific language. The bill definitions added these would greatly strengthen the bill in its ability to be enforced. Nonetheless, SB 133 would be a great first step toward pushing back against the United Nations, the World Health Organization, and the World Economic Forum and related globalist organizations, which is the shit you already know. Globalist scheme SB 133 introduced coming as the UN, WHO, and the World Economic Forum accelerate their promotions of policies, initiatives, and antithetical to the American form of government. For example, the UN's Agenda 21-2030 plan seeks to control and regimentation of the entire planet, and the prominent examples of the implementation including the global war on farmers, carbon capture pipelines, and the transition toward green energy. The global body's upcoming summit for the future will also advocate for more power for the UN. Also, the World Health Organization is planning a major power grab that allows it to implement draconian restrictions such as vaccine passports and other health measures at the global level. This comes from the form of a proposed global pandemic treaty and possible amendments to the International Health Regulations, IHR. In addition to the advance in medical tyranny, these changes would empower international bureaucracy at the expense of the American sovereignty. SB 133 would add an additional barrier preventing these schemes from being enforced in Louisiana, and hopefully we'll pick it up all across the country and shit you already know. Constitutional enforcement, SVB, is firmly grounded in the text of the U.S. Constitution. Specifically, Article 4 binds state legislatures along with members of Congress and judges to their oath to support the Constitution. Article 4 also states the Constitution and the law of the United States which shall be made in pursuant thereof shall be the supreme law of the land. Emphasis added. State legislatures are required to uphold and implement only those laws that are made in pursuant to the Constitution. Therefore, any law not made in pursuant thereof are not the supreme law of the land. As such, state legislatures are under no obligation to enforce or carry out provisions. Instead, they shall interpose or nullify such laws within the borders of their state. And yeah, man, I appreciate that shit coming from these motherfuckers and shit, because there's a lot of backstabbing going on and shit. You already know. Unfortunately, you know, we got a lot of shit going on and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit going on, you know what I mean? And it's only going to keep getting worse if we don't do something about it and shit. So, breaking, police arrest trans student for planning multi-school shootings and shit. Yeah, this is psyop. An 18-year-old transgender student was arrested on Wednesday after police learned of the individual planning to commit mass shootings at them Maryland High School and nearby elementary school. The Montgomery County Police MCP found a 129-page manifesto written by the suspect. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't even know what a manifesto was till I was like 27. What 18-year-old is writing 129-page manifestos? That's like equivalent to the Communist Manifesto, an actual book that was written and shit. It's equivalent to this. That would be equivalent to the size of the Communist Manifesto. How would an 18-year-old that's not even trying to write a 500-word essay write a 129-word manifesto? I need y'all to think about that shit. I really do. You know what I mean? How old are you currently? How many manifestos have you thinking about writing? Exactly, like 0, 0. The answer is fucking 0. It's crazy. Written by the suspect, whose name was Andrea Ye, but goes by Alex. Oh man, this nigga. God, Lord Jesus of Nazareth. This shit is crazy. According to the Bureau Chief Brad Bell, Ye is biological female, though identifies as a dude. 18-year-old charged with threats to mass destruction. NCPN News allege Andrea Ye, who prefers to go by Alex and identifies as a male, is planning shootings in Wooten High School and Lakewood Elementary School. Details of the manifesto at 6. At 6, you know what I mean? Wow, they actually got the motherfucking manifesto. I can read some of this, right? Let's read. Let's read some of this. This is crazy. I want to shoot up my school. This is Rob. This is all the pages of why they want to shoot up their school and shit. And they giving us page 1, 2, another piece of page 2, a piece of page 3, 3, 8, 20, and 38. So I wrote 129 pages, but I'm only going to give you 8 paragraphs real fast. You know what I'm saying? I want to shoot up my school. I've been preparing for the last few months as I sit in front of my dad's gun case and stare at the chic black guns inside. Who the fuck calls guns sleek? All I can think about is my finger on the trigger, taking aim, killing people. The gun is an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle. It's the kind of gun with a long barrel and a stock to put up against your shoulder. This gun is going to change lives tomorrow. This don't sound like a pre-recording and shit. All right, let's just check out. As I walk through the hallways, I cherry-pick the classrooms that are the easiest to target. These ones are close to the entrance and have windows in the doors. I need to figure out how I'll sneak the gun in. Maybe a duffel bag will work. Just hope security doesn't stop me. You know they got security. You know they're going to want to check the duffel bag. You're hoping security doesn't stop. This doesn't sound like a layup. Come on, man. This is a layup. This sounds like some AI wrote this shit and they just printed out what they wanted you to see. So you mean it will fit their fucking narrative, folks? Like, come on, let's not be fucking idiots and shit. Okay, that's all I request is us not be fucking idiots and shit. You feel me? As I did that. Though I enjoy the hunting aspect of guns, I have contemplated making bombs. The instructions to make them are surprisingly available online. I could buy I could build one with a pressure cooker and a remote control car. Or I could make chemical weapons through mixing ammonia with bleach. The problem with that is it would require gas masks and bombs are time consuming to build. I'm gonna keep going. I have also considered shooting up my former elementary school because little kids are easier targets and I run the risk of getting attacked or tackled midway through the high schoolers. I also hated elementary school. The teachers were evil and the other students were little assholes. I always got in trouble and had to sit out during recess. The other kids would pretend to be my friends but make fun of me to my face. It would be the perfect revenge. No, the perfect revenge is you go find the kids that did that to you. You don't go shoot up motherfuckers that now sit in their old seats. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? This is your fucking problem. More from page 3. High school, the best target. I'm most familiar with the layout. I know where the doors with the windows are, and it's the most convenient to enter. Truthfully, I would rather become a serial killer than a mass shooter. Serial killers are romanticized a lot more. They get tons of love letters and Netflix documentaries about them. Mass shooters are brushed off unless they are truly unique and good looking. Alright, that one might have been from her. Because the bitch got she want to be a dude because she's not confident in the woman she will become and shit. So that's why the fuck she want to be a dude and shit. She's confused. Like, dude's not really interested in her as a chick, so she would rather play as a dude and fuck with chicks and shit. You understand? As opposed to being viewed as a beautiful woman by another woman and shit and just being a lesbian. She want to go all out and cut her forearm off and shit to make a penis that's just going to fucking rot away. And then she want a documentary about it. Like, this shit I can't read no more. It's goofy as shit. All right, I'm going to read the longest paragraph they got. All right. I pace around my room. This is from page 8. I pace around my room like an evil mastermind. I put so much effort into this. It has to go well. I don't bother posting any cheesy "don't go to school tomorrow if you value your life" posts for my hundreds or so Instagram followers. The last thing I want is to get reported and get SWAT team sent to my house. I picture the news stories. Deranged killer slays 17. There were no signs saying family in school. 20 dead, 15 injured in Rockville school. I plan on shooting myself once the police get there. And you a whole pussy. Like, you ain't even trying to go down in the blaze of glory. You gonna check yourself out. You ain't getting no documentary for that. Y'all need to stop playing, man. Stop fucking playing. Stop wasting people fucking time with this whole shit. Y'all niggas is just fucking insecure little pussies, and y'all don't know, y'all ain't got nobody to fucking turn to, and y'all just taking it out on every fucking body. That shit nutty. Grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Take it from somebody that's been in the streets and watch, the fucking concrete drink all the blood it want. You understand what I'm saying? Why? And went to those funerals and didn't attend some of those funerals. Like, take it from me, bro. Like, yeah, that shit. Y'all wasting your fucking time. If you put that same effort and energy into attempting to change the environment around you as opposed to trying to kill everybody and forcing them to change, you'll get way better results. Write a book. You can create change through that. Unless it's utopia. Nobody believes in a utopia. Y'all got fed that shit in fucking high school and college, and I know because I went to community and they made me write a fucking paper on a utopia and blah blah. All my utopia said was weed everywhere. And now look, I got it. I got my motherfucking utopia. How about you? You know what I'm saying? Plan to kill myself once so I will never be able to see the news stories. I'm pretty scared. So why you want to do it? What if I fail at killing myself and live the rest of my life disabled and serve a life sentence? Maryland doesn't even have a death penalty, which would be preferable. Nah, bitch, you handicapped. You handicapped, bitch. You know what I'm saying? We gonna take the handicapped version of you because it's a lot easier to deal with. Y'all niggas is a joke. Y'all fucking joke, man. Stop wasting everybody's fucking time with all this old why me shit. And that's a product of our electoral system and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's just keeping it a bean. That's a fucking product of our electoral system and shit. Y'all niggas is the reasons why all this shit is just goofy as fuck. You know what I mean? And that's just keeping it a bean. Keeping it a bean. You know what I mean? Even Stephen A. Smith coming out and like, yo, you know, y'all goofy ass niggas is the reason why. So first, Michael Rappaport a couple episodes ago and shit, we had him on talking about, you know, man, I'm voting for Pig Dick Donald Trump, and I'm voting for Pig Dick Donald Trump, and I'm voting for Pig Dick Donald, and we heard him all them times. And he kept saying it, and we like, okay, we got you. We got it. Gotcha. Cool. Solid. You good? We good. You are? Yeah, Pig Dick. Okay, we heard you, nigga. Damn, how many times you gonna talk about this nigga dick? Like, you on this nigga dick. You sure? Yo, are you mad he ain't want to pay you hush money, motherfucker? I mean, Stephen A. Smith, get Trump lawfare is proof the Democrats are scared and can't beat him on the issues. ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith told his liberal friends that the blatant political legal attacks against Donald Trump are proving the Democrat Party can't compete on an even playing field. Don't believe me? Take it from him.
To my liberal friends out there, all you're doing is showing that you're scared you can't beat them on the issues and the merits. That's why he keeps saying it's a political campaign against me.
Witch hunt, yeah.
That's why he keeps saying they can't beat me at the election, at the polls.
Because we know it.
This is the only way they could do it. And if you don't put him in jail, and he still goes from being the presumptive GOP nominee to the official GOP nominee, and he goes to the polls, even though he was going to whine about winning and being rigged again, you have given more validity, fodder to that argument.
Yeah, validity. So even if
which
he
means
lose,
we'll never have peace in this country.
Yeah.
Because tens of millions of people
will believe,
see what extent the other side is willing to go through just to keep him out of office, because they can't beat him on their own merits.
Absolutely.
And they're going to say,
hey,
you trumped us up against him again.
Hey.
And we'll have no peace. When all you got to do is figure out a way to beat him on the issues. But you haven't been able to do it.
Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., man, you waking up, baby. You waking up, kid. That's what I'm talking about. Robert Barnes report on response to Israel committing political suicide. Trump. We could do that. Because,
Trump was the victim of extortion by Stormy Daniels, not the person who perpetrated it. And they're trying to convert an accounting issue into a criminal issue, when in fact, this manner of settlement of these kind of controversies takes place regularly. And the idea that it interfered in the election is ludicrous. That there's no evidentiary basis for that. And of course, they're focused on things that Trump did while president of the United States and pretending somehow he can't be immune from prosecution by politically motivated prosecutors for this. So I think what the judge is doing, he thinks is going to advance the Democratic Party's interest. I think it's going to undermine it because it's going to put more pressure on the Supreme Court to grant President Trump full immunity. So that these show trials stop.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now.
Man, and niggas be trying to tell y'all, but y'all don't want to fucking listen to this shit. We got 20 minutes left, and I got 2 videos that should cover it. Watch. Smugglers reportedly cutting border barriers along Arizona ranchers' land and shit. So they cut the barrier, and then they slide through the joint. You can see how it's like disconnected, and it's in a new spot. And that shit, they just wave that shit right open and shit. It don't even matter. Yeah.
This is where the illegals cut the Ballard in the Trump wall. And every one of those splice plates is where they've repaired it. And then up above, those are the dates. The first cut was 2/12 of 24, or not, and then 2/20 of 24, 2/26 of 24,
damn,
2/27 24, 3/5 of 24. The reason, and then there's another one right there. But the reason they keep coming back to the same spot is the cameras can't see it. There isn't a lot of Border Patrol patrolling. But you can never regrout the concrete and everything. It's a weaker Ballard.
Yeah, it's a weaker
So they
joint.
keep on coming back and just whacking on it every time.
So we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 cuts?
Yeah.
Over the course of a month?
2 months?
A month and a half?
Yeah. 2/12 to 3/5.
Okay. Now, if they cut this, just for fun, get myself in this shot a little bit here, I can fit through this
right
pretty readily.
Yeah.
I mean, you just go sideways.
That whole Ballard will swing out.
Oh, so they can cut it and then it kind of...
And it's only attached at the...
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I can fit through this pretty easily.
Yeah, man, and they coming in. They coming in, folks. They are coming in. And y'all don't give a fuck. So what the fuck is happening?
Did you hear about the worrying new epidemic? Schools across America are on high alert for an outbreak of furries.
What the fuck is this one? Hey, Bart! Oh, hell no. Y'all niggas wildin' on my mama.
Do not make fun of it.
What the fuck?
Do not make fun of
this. What the fuck is this? Y'all niggas doing this shit in public?
What was once a bizarre, obscure subculture, young people pretending to be animals, even adopting fursona costumes, is now exploding into the playground and classrooms to the extent that pupils and parents at a middle school in Utah staged a protest against it.
We the people, not the animals! We the people, not the animals!
After furries began growling, barking, pouncing on them, even biting them, as well as spraying Febreze in their eyes.
They attack us! They bite us and we just kick them! We get in trouble! They attack us! They attack us and we get in trouble!
How else do they attack you guys?
They either bite us, they scratch us.
The kids say they're being constantly harassed and assaulted.
Reports of harassment.
Okay. You guys cannot record me without my permission!
This is video a Nebo Middle School student took last week. Parents say there's an issue between some students and others who call themselves furries.
But teachers, fresh from their diversity
How would
and
they know about
inclusivity
this?
training, took the side of
How
the
would they know
furries
about
and
it?
blamed them.
The principal doesn't make them get in trouble. Yeah.
My question is, how would your kids know what a furry is if they wasn't being already exposed? That's a sexuality, bro. That's kink. That's kink. Y'all got y'all kids running around in kink at school, bro, and y'all cool with it?
All the principal says is just be kind, be nice, be nice.
The kids claim that the school's demand for tolerance is driven by the fact that the principal's own child is a furry.
These kids are mentally ill, and they're trying to force their illness upon
Absolutely.
us. They're wearing animal costumes, they're growling at us, barking at us in class, and it's very distracting, and we just want to come to school to learn.
They're barking at you in class?
Yeah.
Then the media got involved and, together with the school, began gaslighting everyone by claiming the entire thing was just rumours run wild, a hoax, a moral panic.
But how much of that discontent is fueled by rumour?
Seth Sorensen says no one was scratching or biting anyone.
Of course she would
and
say that.
There are a lot of
That's
untrue
our kid
rumors going around.
It actually is not something that's been occurring. In fact, a lot of the information that's been put out there is completely incorrect.
Salt Lake Tribune.
So propaganda from the kids.
Admitting that the
like
students were wearing animal ears and acting like animals, that they weren't furries. They're basically just demonising the dozens of kids who protested about it as liars.
So we can't talk or say anything to the furries or even look at them, but they can come look at us and they can say stuff to us and touch us.
But Utah Parents United issued a statement saying they had confirmed.
So it's a reverse zoo. The animals are outside the zoo, and then you put the humans in the zoo, and the animals are coming to antagonize the humans and shit. So it's like Planet of the Apes and shit on some calm shit. Except it's the handicapped versus the sane, and the sane like, yo, y'all handicapped, and they like, no, we not. No, we not. You just an intolerant bigot and a homophobe, xenophobe, and a furry phobe, and all this bullshit. That's all it is.
The reports, which even include students chewing on sticks in class. And when they complained about the threatening and inappropriate behaviour, they were basically told to just shut up and accept it in the name of diversity and inclusion, highlighting the insanity of the school's position. In comparison, an actual furry sounded like the voice of reason and said it should be kept out of schools.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
Continue doing things you like, continue dressing up, continue making art, but maybe let's keep it outside of school hours.
Yeah, when someone in a giant dog costume calling themselves Strudel makes you look stupid.
Thank you.
Chances are you've come down on the wrong side of the issue. Across the board, the drive to challenge and scramble identity is relentless. They'll rush to protect furries while demonising normal heterosexual masculine men, calling them toxic. But the attack is also biological. Testosterone levels have been declining for decades, with a 17% drop among 60-year-olds in 2004 compared to now. A couple of weeks later, Black Forest Supplements is a branch of this amazing 48-hour only. According to the kids, the furries even have a panther den, which the other children aren't allowed to go in.
And if you walk in the panther den, they'll say, hey, get out, you can't be annoying the furries. If you go close to them, they'll get on all fours and come bark at you.
There's apparently video of these furries interrupting class, but the student who filmed it was the one who got reprimanded.
My son had taken some videos and showed me, so when I called the school that afternoon, Mr. James had told me that he wasn't aware of any of them wearing masks, and when I told my son that that's who I had spoke to,
He said,
one second.
that told me to stop talking to him.
To stop recording.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They didn't want you recording the furries?
So when I went in the next morning to talk to him, I was like, well, I thought you didn't know about them, then why were you the one that told my son to stop recording?
We're still waiting on a comment from the governor of Utah.
Because it's all lies.
My preferred
It's lies.
him and his. But the media narrative that this is all a
he looked like a
panic
sheep.
and that it's not actually happening is
Lord
one that
Jesus.
we've seen replicated here in the UK. But even in my local village, and this hasn't even made the news, suggesting how widespread it is, there are kids in school who identify as cats and demand and are given litter trays and are allowed to meow in class. I spoke to locals in the school who saw it happen. Yet there's entire Wikipedia pages dedicated to the litter box hoax. It's not a hoax, it's literally happening down the road from where I live. Don't be surprised when a generation who's told that they can identify as infinity different genders start to identify as cats and dogs. Don't be surprised at
Wow,
the
that nigga was a
social
raccoon.
engineering when this is what's being shown to fourth graders at an elementary school in Georgia.
And we could try to meow.
He thinks he's a cat.
A
he's a
puppet
cat.
dog think he a cat.
Weird.
It's not weird, just different. I couldn't ask Barry to change who he is. That would make him really sad.
It's even being normalised in daytime TV soaps.
Oh, yes! I love it!
There's a lot of prejudice around furries, especially the ones with personas.
So dressing up as an animal is normal behaviour?
It's no different to dressing up as any other character.
The furry subculture is growing to such
that's
an extent
normally
in
for
schools.
work.
The Our Save for Schools
like
website has a
cosplay
lengthy
events, not every
advisory
day.
page for teachers dedicated to it. The most alarming takeaway? A young person adopting a fursona can take on a subjective age, meaning behind the costume a minor can identify as an adult. They warn that online wrong'uns are pretending to be into furry subculture as an excuse to talk to and nonce on kids. Strange, isn't it, how these kinds of things always seem to end up back there.
Yeah, man. It's for the pedos. It's for the pedos. For the pedos, for the pedos, for the pedos. And speaking of pedos, there's a war on pedos. And I just realized something, folks. You know why we got all these wars and shit going on? It's because the truth about COVID is everywhere, bro. So they distracting us with all this extraterrestrial dumbass shit, bro. War and all this shooting rockets, and this shit is all to get us to look over there while something else is happening over here and shit. Like, we see what the situation is, bro. I meant to say that shit like fucking maybe like 45 minutes ago. But it just like redawned on me when I looked at this. Israel puts military under AI command, robot genocide launch.
And the Israelis aren't even denying it, that a computer program they call artificially intelligent called Lavender, and that's sweet.
Yeah.
Should have called it strawberry shortcake or cupcake or Hearts and Kisses. Hearts and Kisses, the AI machine directing Israelis' bombing spree in Gaza, or the Life Giver, or the Kiss of Love. No, but they called it Lavender. Isn't that a loving, liberal name? Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing spree in Gaza. Huge report.
So that's a test. Y'all testing out an AI.
WikiLeaks information, but it's all open source. Israel's not even denying it.
Not trying to hide it.
It was secret 5 years ago, but now they admit that an AI computer is directing swarms of drones that scan and watch people's behavior, like running from house to house. Well, you're already scared to die, but they admit that's one of the things. If you're seen running, because these young people are walking around the street towards the Israeli troops, not even doing anything wrong, they get killed. But if you are running house to house, that's all, because you're pinned up there and you're trying to stay in the shadows, well, that's a reason to die right there.
While other networks lie to you about what...
Well, I mean, folks, you know what I'm saying? Death is going to come one way or another. You can't keep this body forever. That's why I just make mine look as good as it's going to look, as long as I can make it look it. Trust me, you know what I'm saying? Don't cling to life. He who clings to life is guaranteed death.
Human military and roll out ground drones, small air drones, large air drones, surface ships, submarines. And the great danger that once you had a technocracy in control of that, it would remove humans from the decision-making process.
Yeah. Just like
where
Terminator.
In your training as an officer in the military or as an enlisted person, you're taught not to follow illegal orders. But that once we go to a drone military, commanded and programmed and run by AI, then obviously you could have a tiny globalist ruling class calling themselves the elite, yes, the masters of evil, masters of dehumanization, the masters of Satan, Satan's minions, Satan's little helpers, ruling over everyone. And so Israel is on the cutting edge of many things, so is the U.S., and Israel's on the cutting edge of nanotech and shots, and Israel's on the cutting edge of turning over AI control. So the AI controls the military, and then the AI decides who to kill. And you say, well, we didn't do it. The AI decided to tell the drone, either in the air or on the ground, who to kill. And so we saw, there was so many videos, but it captured the world's attention a month ago when I reposted it and others did. Just our posting got over 40 million views that I saw on X alone, of people in southern Gaza trying to go back to their homes to try to find food, and they were teenagers, and they're vaporized by drone missiles. Damn. And now it's admitted, and the Israelis aren't even denying it, that a computer program they call artificially intelligent called Lavender, and that's sweet, Should have called it strawberry shortcake or cupcake or Hearts and Kisses. Hearts and Kisses, the AI machine during Israelis' bombing spree in Gaza, or the Life Giver, or the Kiss of Love. No, but they called it Lavender. Isn't that a loving, liberal name?
Yes, it is.
Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing spree in Gaza. Huge report. WikiLeaks information, but it's all open source. Israel's not even denying it.
They got that shit set to indiscriminate.
It was secret 5 years ago, but now they admit that an AI computer is directing swarms of drones that scan and watch people's behavior, like running from house to house. Well, you're already scared to die, but they admit that's one of the things. If you're seen running, because these young people are walking around the street towards the Israeli troops, not even doing anything wrong, they get killed. But if you are running house to house, that's all, because you're pinned up there and you're trying to stay in the shadows, well, that's a reason to die right there. It's like in Full Metal Jacket.
Damn.
And they ask him, they're flying in the helicopter and the guy's indiscriminately the door gunner, just shooting men, women, and children. And he says, how do you shoot men, women, and children? How do you shoot women and children? He says, it's easy. You just don't lead them as much. Total sociopathic response. It was a moral question. How do you kill women and children?
Yeah, like,
they're just
why
out
would you
in
do
rice
that? How
paddies
could you do
trying
that?
to get food, which really happened in Vietnam. By the end of it, they said just kill everybody. Blow up, burn their rice paddies. Shoot the people in the rice paddies. That's all they have.
Crazy shit.
And he responds back, not, oh, I don't care about killing women and children. He says, easy, just don't lead them so much. He was like a robot. He just took it as a question of how do you kill them, not a question of why do you kill them. But he says he doesn't lead them as much because they don't run as fast. Yeah, cue it up with audio. We'll play it in a minute. What a great Stanley Kubrick masterpiece. His daughter did a great job working on the sound score as well, Vivian Kubrick. Big listener, say hi to Vivian. She listens every day. So that's where we are. And if you go read this, what is this? 40-something page report. You'll see it all right there. Here's an IBM slide from 1979 directing the employees that a computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. But when you hear
that's legit
about autonomous drones that make the decision of who to kill, well, what's telling them that? It's AI, and who programmed that? Oh, this person's walk, not just their face has been scanned, but their walk is a biometric system, 98% on average accuracy. And so they've seen this person digging around for food, running house to house because they don't want to get killed. They admit in this article, the Israelis admit, just running house to house is you're a combatant. You live there. You're being bombed. You're trying to find food, trying to find family. And you're smart. You don't walk up the middle of the street to get drone attacked.
Yeah, I mean,
you run from house to house. Well, now you've been scanned, and now they send the drones to kill you. This isn't a Terminator movie.
Why do you think they want? Why do you think they want you to have that facial recognition?
They're using drones against farmers and ranchers all over the Western world. They're shutting them down.
Confirmation and
it's being used on you and I, not just the Gazans, folks. So I posted this this morning, and I said a month ago, this is robotic genocide. Let the computer tell other computers who to kill so humans have no guilt or decision-making duties that can get in the way of the machinery of death. And then I linked to this big article, Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing spree in Gaza.
And y'all just programming Skynet, basically. This is Skynet.
Once you go automatic, target generation goes crazy. Because a human's not sure, like in Collateral Damage, Collateral Death that WikiLeaks got the video of famously, where they shape journalists in a minivan or terrorists. They kill little kids. But that was humans making a mistake. Now, of course, most of them are innocent. It doesn't matter. Now it's the robot
who makes
that made the decision, so you don't have any guilt. Of course you do.
Accountability, yeah.
And I want to raise a point here. Guys, can you pull up tattoos on Jews, Nazi Germany? And then just type in IBM and the Holocaust and pull up a New York Times Pulitzer Prize winner, Black, who we've interviewed. For his first name, Mr. Black. But it's a fact. It's not a secret. It's not debatable. It's on record that people in the forced labor camps, that were also death camps, would be given a tattoo and would be given weekly tests, how much they weighed, how tall they were, and they would put it into the Hollerith computer machine, a punch card machine. Type in IBM in the Holocaust, you'll find it. That's the book. And then the machine would tell the SS
who to kill,
how long to work somebody before you killed them. And that, to them it was okay because, well, the machine told them. And of course, IBM, Thomas Watson, the founder of it, was the highest awarded person in Nazi Germany, basically ran the computers for the Third Reich. Yeah, put that back on.
And, also associated with William Gates Sr. and shit. I'm going to come back on the other side. Close us out. I hope you fucking learned something. It's your boy. In the year 2020, we have seen COVID lockdowns, mandatory COVID mandates, COVID vaccines that kill people, COVID vaccines that maim people, COVID vaccines that sterilize folks. All mandatory in the name of quack science. But only here in the Twilight Zone will you realize that upside down world is not only inevitability, but it's a reality. No now means yes. Yes now means no. Upside down now means right side up. Being good now means being treacherously bad. Being bad means being unquestionably good. You will understand that here in the Twilight Zone. Only those who capitulate survive. They want to track you and trace you. They want to maim your children. They want to sterilize you and your children in the name of science. Here in the Twilight Zone, there is no mother. There is no father. There is no sister, brother, aunt, or uncle. There's no identification of male. No identification of female. All in the name of tolerance, diversity, acceptance, and inclusion to push an agenda of dehumanity and transhumanism. Only here in the Twilight Zone will you realize that living is an afterthought to capitulation. You have Karens that want you to wear masks all day long. You have Sir Karens that want to fight you if you attempt to breathe fresh air. You have presidents that want to overrun your country with illegal immigrants, although you have a 95% complete border wall. You have vice presidents that cackle at the idea of immigrants and asylum seekers are being raped, ravaged, and murdered to reach a country that is so far away that it can be thought of as out of this world. You will hear more, but only here in Upside Down World. The Upside Down World we call the Twilight Zone. Yeah, we bike. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Real shit. Appreciate your airspace. Appreciate you coming through, hanging with your boy. Appreciate you being willing to learn something. Appreciate you having an open mind. Appreciate you supporting the show on Cash App and PayPal at Mr. PI55, MRPI55, supporting the show. Shout out to my man JS, who's been a long time listener and supporter of the show. I mean, like, since we started, when it was still under Bleeding Green Eagles Nation and shit. Real shit. It was still under, you know what? I need to go see if I can find our first 95 episodes under that name and shit. I think I tried it before, but you never know. You know what I mean? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. So many things going on, so many things to learn, so many things to see, so many places to be. Everybody got their own shit going on, you know. I pray that, you know, you can find peace within all the bullshit going on. If you got family members that, you know, hurt by anything, you know what I'm saying? You should definitely take some time out to, you know, try to connect with them, man. A lot of people going through a lot of shit. A lot of people. And it's very unfortunate that we don't have that many people to go through it with us. I love y'all. And I'm going to check y'all out next time. I got some things I need to do. I got to go wash some work uniforms and some comforters and shit. So, you know, I'm about to go do some grown-up shit. And take it easy. But keep doing your thing. Keep letting it hang and swing. Keep being positive. Keep teaching people what they need to know and shit. I mean, keep trying to be there for your fellow Americans and the non-Americans and shit if they're worth it and shit. Check out that movie Civil War. It's definitely propaganda and a psyop, and it's made to trigger any unstable motherfucker that's already thinking about doing some extra whack ass shit. So it's definitely interesting to watch. It's almost like The Purge meets Civil War. Yeah. So I'm gonna think of it as The Purge is the Civil War. You know what I mean? I'm gonna probably watch a Terminator spree tonight. Probably watch Terminator 1 through all of them. You know what I mean? Fall back, have something good to eat and shit, figure out life and shit. But other than that, man, everything is everything, and I'm proud to be an American. And I'm definitely proud to be out here with you guys and making the most out of life. And, you know, just having a good time and shit, man. I just went to AC. Had a good time in AC. Watched the Sixers lose. But, you know, AC letting you smoke weed in there now and shit, man. I was in that joint blowing. I mean, they could be some... All I know is they ain't stopped me and shit. They ain't stopped me from smoking. So it's all good. You feel me? But, yeah, man. Stay cool. Keep it breezy. Keep it easy. And I love y'all. So until next time. It's your boy, Mr. P. I bring you that civilian talk. Please wake up America News, because if we don't wake up today, we may not have an America to wake up to tomorrow. And I'm out. It's your boy.
Today's episode was brought to you by Civilian Talk Radio.
Bye.